Kendrick Louis 3.0 goes into the Ironman final alongside some of the biggest names in the sport and some of the best young up-and-comers as well. So we've got our 21 starters. They're going to throw their skis on the line. Ski, board, swim is the order. We've seen it done. And this is for all the chocolates. We'll take a look at the start list. Bevel, Aqua, Brooks, Carberry, Chapman, Cole, Cuff, Eckstein, Furness. What an opening page, Jack. Very impressive.
Well, Josh, there were many ways to get here, but it doesn't matter how you got here. This is the race that really matters. Forget the repechage, forget the heats. 21 men racing off for round 3 Summer of Surf title here at Fingal Bay.
That's exactly right, and isn't it funny? They've had the biggest rivalry of the last couple of years. Matt Poole, Shannon Eckstein, side by side in the centre of your screen. Just a little bit further back than the rest of the field there in the centre, but 21 men on, and they are away. Tannen Linden leads our point score. No dramas into the ski, and we saw dramas early in both the men's and the women's races. Let's see what happens here. Ben Carberry, Hayden White, 2 in the centre. They've flown out the fastest. They are former training partners of Warilla Barrack Point. Made their way north to Queensland. They're at different clubs now. That's Ben Carberry closest to us with the blue nose. Hayden White, the black and white. Luke Cuff, a former training partner of White. There is Jackson Maynard as well. So no dramas at this point. They got out so very easily. And have a look at Hayden White. That's his kayaking background coming to the fore.
Well, what a start it is from White, Josh. He's one guy that you know has always had the ability to, but struggles to put it together on race day. And here is one race where he seems to be getting it right so far.
A former roommate of yours, people described it like stepbrothers, and he is doing a good job despite your training in the past. Kendrick Louis, another one of his training partners alongside, ahead of his Manly teammate, his new Manly teammate, Jay Finesse, who's had a little bit more luck in the opening leg of this race than the other one. Then Eckstein on him, Ben Carberry, Matt Poole's there, Bevel Aqua as well, Tannen Linden. Have a look at that, paddles together, clash and bash. It's like old Roman gladiators going at it, and Hayden White isn't waiting around for any of that drama. He's put 2 ski lengths into Kendrick Louis and 4 ski lengths into the rest of the field.
Well, he got himself round those cans first and into clean water, but Louis starting to work up on a little runner now and really starting to drive it home with Hayden White out in front.
Oh, strong from Louis as well. He responded. White's on his own little runner. Oh, Kendrick Louis may be falling off the back. He'll have to wait for Carberry, for Eckstein, and for Jay Finesse. So 2 from Manly, 1 from Northcliffe, 1 from Burleigh, and 1 from Currumbin. Sydney's Northern Beaches and the Gold Coast at this point. Matt Bevel Aqua chasing hard on his own. Turns around and there's about 8 on the wave behind that. So plenty of action here early on. And it is Hayden White who will lead through the opening leg of the round 3 of the Summer of Surf. Up and away. Kendrick Louis chasing hard there. He's had to work very, very hard on the way home. And it looked like the effects of the Coolangatta Gold aren't hurting him too much in the transition, as Shannon Eckstein, he really gets a wriggle on as well.
Matt Bevel Aqua, our round 1 winner, is trying to make his way back up, as is the next 8 or so boys chasing hard. Bevel Aqua had to work all the way back to the beach. Wasn't lucky enough to pick up a wave, which may hurt him going into this board leg.
Bevel Aqua's there, Matt Poole's there, Luke Cuff, and it looks like James Lacey from Mermaid. So a few of the Mermaid boys there as well. Maybe Simon Murphy jumping onto the board in the background. It's Jackson Maynard from Currumbin chasing his training partner. Have a look at Jay Finesse work through the bright yellow board there. You won't miss him in a storm, that's for sure. And he's worked all the way through to second place and almost into first at the moment as Shannon Eckstein pushes through this white water, pushes through this little section. It'll break on the rest of the field. Our top 4 have snuck through and a gap will open up right here, right now. 2 from Manly, 1 from Currumbin, 1 from Northcliffe, and maybe Benny Carberry hanging on for grim life.
Well, Benny Carberry's done well to work his way up onto the tail of our 4 leaders. Poole is working his way there, so is Luke Cuff. So Luke Cuff, another really strong board paddler, Josh. You know he's going to be thereabouts, but the gap may be too big at this stage, especially if these boys can get round into that wave zone.
White's the Australian board champion, but he's been shot straight out the back there and into 5th place, so not the leg you want from him. Maybe opening up and putting in such a beast of an opening ski leg has really hurt him on the way around. Finesse just looks around, eyes off the competition, and knows the rest of the field's trying to tack on, and just as I give it to White a little bit, he really really fires up around the inside, tries to sneak through there as Kendrick Louis on the front after the second of 3 legs. Matt Poole's paddling the rest of the field down. He's in 6th place at the moment. Bevel Aqua, our round 1 winner, has got plenty of work to do.
Well, Josh, perhaps Hayden White has decided to sit back and conserve a little bit for his swim. He knows he's not as strong as the others when it comes to that swim leg, but if he can be that little bit fresher, perhaps that'll keep him in the race at the end.
Well, they all sit up and a wave comes through. A jag on for Poole and Brooks. They'll come down it as well. Maybe also it is, yes, James Lacey. He gets it from the clouds. So a top 5 has turned into a top 8 very, very quickly. Pulls up and bunny hopping on the top side there alongside Brooks. The 2 Manly boys decide to sit back, relax. They'll conserve their effort and put it in across the gutter. It looks like Ben Carberry gets pushed out the backside as Shannon Eckstein first to the beach, first up, first away, and looking very, very comfortable under the radar.
Well, Josh, this is going to come down to a swim leg now, and who do you like? There are so many strong swimmers in this race. Have a look, Jay Finesse leading out. We know how fast he can swim. Kendrick Louis in 2. He's already won a surf race so far this year in the Summer of Surf. And then the greatest of all time and one of the best swimmers in surf lifesaving, Shannon Eckstein in 3rd.
Oh, he's the defending Australian champion as well. But Jay Finesse, his swim has improved out of sight in the last couple of years. He's really, really good. Expect him to go hard across this bank and try to break away. Eckstein not looking muffed at all. He's just sitting there very slightly. Further back in the field, they're looking a little bit frantic. You can see them trying to hang on. The duck diving, throwing the arms around, probably not getting their knees and arms up as high as possible and really trying to be frantic across this bank. The likes of Eckstein, Louis, Finesse are on the front. They're calm, they're collected, they're doing the right thing, and that's why they're in the lead.
Well, Poole's sitting in 4 as well, Josh, and you know he can swim too, particularly when he's tired on that back end, that final leg. He's going to look to get onto the tail of our 3 leaders and get sucked around in this final swim leg, put himself into the wave zone with a chance at a run up the beach.
We haven't talked about it much so far, but you think the 2 Manly boys might work together. It may take 2 of them to get over the top of Shannon Eckstein. They're training partners. Jay Finesse, Kendrick Louis, the light blue cap in the centre. Matt Poole works his way up alongside Shannon Eckstein. That's your top 4 at the moment. Ben Carberry tries to hold on. Max Brooks tries to hold on. Lacey and White, they're just drifting out the back. Desperate to find feet here. If they can jump on a feet, they can hope to get dragged around, hope for a wave, and maybe win a sprint up the beach, because you know those guys can't go with our top few in pure swimming ability. Louis turns first, hot on his heels. Matt Poole swum through the field, so this has been a great swim leg so far from him. Shannon Eckstein just sitting a little bit further back than he'd like. He'd like to be right up on our leader, Kendrick Louis, especially turning for home.
Well, it looks as though the boys are starting to angle across to that second turning cannon. Louis looks very comfortable out in front, Josh. We look at his stroke rate. It's nice and long in comparison to Poole, who's following him behind. Poole's stroke is a lot shorter. He's chopping through, but it works for him.
Oh, it does. He gets his hand through, rips it in, gets it out and goes again. The rating's higher than Louis. Louis is more a traditional, maybe Poole swimmer's stroke, high elbow. And you look at Matty Poole behind him, just gets it in and gets it going. But 2 different techniques, very effective, and there's a wave on. This is going to be it. Dial it up, boys, because here they come. Try to push down at 1's down, 2's down. Louis will come down, and we ride on with them. A couple of the boys have missed out, so that's the race decided. It's going to come down to our leaders on the front of the wave here. James Lacey's there. Shannon Eckstein's there. 1 drops off. Who is that? Is that Hayden White? He's got it from the clouds, but he's dropped off so early, and Kendrick Louis has held it the longest as he heads to the gutter. He's done all the hard work on the front. He was rewarded. Matt Poole's been left behind. So has the rest of the field. The winner's going to come from these 4.
Well, Kendrick Louis done all the work so far, Josh. If anyone deserves this race, it's him. And as the boys came down that wave, it's Louis now as he hits the beach that's got the legs.
Oh, Louis, what a performance through the gutter. He just grounded out there, did the hard work when it was required. He got the gap, and now he's going to get the win. Welcome back, Kendrick Louis. He said he was new and improved, and what a way to prove it. On top, in front at Fingal Bay, Kendrick Louis gets the win. Second place, James Lacey. He is a star of the future. And Hayden White came from the clouds in his worst leg to put in a performance that he desperately needed to qualify for the final. He'll finish in 3rd ahead of Shannon Eckstein. So it's Louis, Lacey and White. They are your top 3. in a dramatic finish here at Fingal Bay at the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Ironman final. We head further down the page. Ben Carberry faded after leading early. So did Corey Taylor. Jay Finesse, that wave really hurt him alongside Matt Poole, Hendy, Chapman and Innes.
It does. It hurt a lot, so it's a good sign. It means he's back. We got a great start on the ski next to Hayden White, and him and I, we just tried to get on with the race and turn around. There was a wave of, with the field on it, and that's how it goes most of the time. But you can't let that bother you. And we just got on with it, went around in the board leg, and really tried to push it out to the can. I saw Shannon was on my outside, so if you're up the front near him, you're going to have a pretty good race. So I just got on with it, and normally he tries to dictate the speed, and today I just went with it. I just said, nah, this is going to be my race, and I got on with it and came to a last swim league against 5 or 6 boys, and I've been swimming really well. I've been putting a lot of effort into my swimming and really paid off that last bit, and the legs across the bank coming home. I don't think much can be worse than that, but got it done, and I didn't have to do a sprint finish, so there's no better way to finish it. Mate, I like to race confident. I think, without making the final at Newport, I lost a bit of confidence, and coming here to the heats and the repechage races, I was actually quite nervous. I've got high expectations. I train hard, and when things don't go the way that you want them to go, and kind of rattles you a little bit. So to come here and get that result, it's good for me. It's good for the Manly Surf Club and all the juniors at Manly Surf Club. Seeing the work we're doing is paying off. So I can't thank my coaches enough, and the racing that Summer Surf are putting on, it's just unbelievable.
We're grateful Kendrick Louis there, and a very, very good win today. Shannon Eckstein goes on top of the leaderboard. Of course, the guys in blue have already qualified for our end-of-season Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Ironman final. The boys in white battling it out for the final places. And further down the page, Corey Taylor will